In secret discussions about fuel emission standards, Carol Browner, who's the president of Obama's Climate Advisory Board, reportedly told negotiators between the White House and the auto industry to put nothing in writing, ever, during these negotiations. Wisconsin Congressman James Sensenbrenner joins me this morning from the Cannon Rotunda in Washington. Good morning to you, Congressman.
Good morning, Clayton. How are you today?
I am doing well. So tell me, do you believe that there should be an investigation into what went on at the Environmental Protection Agency?
Well, this is more in the White House than in the EPA. The administration's playing dirty to go green, and Browner telling the negotiators of the CAFE or fuel efficiency standards not to put anything down is a clear violation of the Presidential Records Act. If there's litigation that ensues, it's important that everybody know, including the court, exactly what went into a decision that was being made for a regulatory action that is going to have vast consequences to every American who drives a car.
All right, on the other side of this, there are critics who say, look, the Republicans are being hypocritical here. What about what Vice President Dick Cheney did? These private meetings off the record, developing energy policy during the Bush administration. What do you say to those critics who say there's nothing different here?
Two wrongs don't make a right. The Democrats justifiably criticized Cheney in the White House. Now they're not practicing what they preach. You know, I'm concerned about all these czars that they have in the White House. The czar system does not allow Congress to get any information of any decision that a czar is involved in. And that ends up having secret decisions being made that does not have the type of public input that we need to have a consensus. You know, I'm kind of a student of history, and Obama has appointed more czars in 6 months than Russia had in 200 years.
Right, 32 of them now. We're still waiting for the 33rd one to pop up anytime soon. According to reports and according to Nichols, Carol Browner quietly orchestrated these private discussions with these auto industry officials behind closed doors, and of course we said nothing written down, and then we're getting environmental energy policy coming out of these meetings. How can we have any accountability if we don't know what was on the paper?
There's none, and that was a deliberate decision that was made by Czar Browner, and I assume with the concurrence of President Obama. You know, it's pretty hard to have an arm's-length negotiation with GM and Chrysler when the government owned over half of each of the corporations. Czars in Russia ended up dictating policy, and I have a feeling that if things were written down, they would show that Browner dictated the policy and didn't get any pushback from the auto executives on whether it could be done or not.
So much for transparency. Congressman James Sensenbrenner, thanks so much for joining us this morning. We appreciate it. Well, coming up here on the show, one pack of cigarettes cost him more than the U.S. national debt. They were some expensive smokes. We talked to the guy who bought them and hearing his fight to get his money back. Plus, forget the seventh inning stretch. One baseball team thinks this is good entertainment. Barefoot and pregnant women running the bases. What? Where it's happening and why. Then, if that's not enough for you, here's more on your plate. Joe Biden